Hobbies. They're the way we fill our time when we aren't slaving away as cogs in the corrupt corporate machine that crushes the life out of us one fluorescently lit day at a time. But what if I told you that the machine was trying to crush the life out of your hobbies as well? And it's time to stop letting that happen. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am the one and only David of David's Davids, and today, we're going to talk about the difference between creative and consumptive hobbies, and the reason that engaging in the creative side is crucial. First, let's clearly delineate the differences between a creative hobby and a consumptive hobby. Creative hobbies are usually defined as hobbies that allow you to create a new skill, object, or consumable media at the end of the day. Good examples of creative hobbies include learning a new skill, such as learning to speak a new language, cook a new dish, or play a new instrument. Creating art, such as painting, writing, sculpting, or performing. Learning how to create practical things, including quilting, carpentry, vegetable gardening, or candle making. The essential element that creative hobbies share is that when you partake in a creative hobby, you emerge with something to show for your effort. Whether it's a physical object, a new skill or ability, or a piece of consumable media like a written work, a video, or a performance. Another commonality among most creative hobbies is that you will likely not be very good at them right away. There's always a learning curve when you create something new, and you will never begin as an expert. However, given enough time, your skills in your chosen creative pursuit will improve, and you will experience the joy of being able to create something that you can be proud of, and even show off to other people around you. Now, let's talk about consumptive hobbies. Consumptive hobbies, unlike creative hobbies, are unlikely to give you a new skill, and focus rather on entertainment and instant gratification. Examples of consumptive hobbies include watching TV and movies, reading books, playing video games, consuming entertainment and memes through social media platforms such as Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, or Facebook, eating certain foods such as candy, snacks, or sodas. Consumptive hobbies are antithetical to creative hobbies in that rather than creating something of your own, the main focus is on consuming something created by others. Movies, television, and even video games are all consumption-based hobbies. Books can sometimes act as creative hobbies, especially if you are using them to learn a new skill, but more often than not, the hobbies listed above will be used for entertainment and instant gratification. However, as creative hobbies are more difficult than consumptive hobbies, it is often the case that they will engage your brain and sometimes your body in ways that consumptive hobbies don't. A hallmark of consumption-based hobbies is the fact that they usually don't require much, if any, actual input by the person consuming them. TV and film require no engagement of any kind, and many video games are simplistic or easy enough to allow minimal engagement in order to consume them. But as we'll soon learn, consumptive hobbies on their own are not enough to bring a person fulfillment. It doesn't take a genius to see that our current culture encourages and even demands consumption. There are advertisements everywhere you look. On TV, on your computer, on billboards, buses, cars, and even the sides of buildings. You probably watched an advertisement before this video. And what did they advertise? Watch this new movie, try this new food, buy this new product, consume, consume, consume. The people paying for the ads make money when you consume. They're incentivized to push consumption as much as possible, and they've gotten quite good at it. A great example of this is social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Reddit, TikTok, and many other social media companies have all developed AI-powered algorithms designed to do one thing: keep you on their website as long as possible. The more time you spend scrolling, liking, commenting, and engaging with their content, the more ads they can slip in between. And the more ads you view, the more money they make. The same is true of streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Prime Video, or Disney+. It's not an accident that most streaming services will autoplay the next episode in a television show less than 10 seconds after the previous episode has ended. These companies have entire marketing departments with only one job: keep you watching. Fast food companies experiment with additives designed to make their food more addictive and keep people coming back for more. Stores try to use sales and promises of hot deals on new items to keep you shopping. Some days it probably seems like the whole world is trying to force you to engage in the culture of consumerism that we've created here in the United States. So why should you fight this culture? And what can you do about it? The reason that it's so hard to leave the cycle of consumption is simple. Consumption is easy. As I mentioned earlier, there's no need to engage beyond the most basic level with most consumption hobbies. You receive instant gratification, and all you have to do is open that app, launch that streaming service, or eat that delicious sour Skittle. And once you do, your brain will produce a small hit of dopamine, the chemical that makes you feel good. Dopamine is a powerful drug. In a study by Brown University, researchers found that people with higher dopamine levels in a certain region of the brain were more likely to focus on the benefits of difficult mental tasks that paid the participants more money, while those people with lower dopamine levels were more sensitive to the perceived cost or task difficulty and were more likely to choose easy tasks that paid less money. Creative and consumptive hobbies work much the same way. A creative hobby is almost certainly going to be more difficult than a consumptive hobby, and the longer you engage in consumptive hobbies, the less of an appetite your brain is going to have for the more difficult creative ones.
Oh my gosh, this is too hard! I can't go on! I'm like gonna die! Mommy!
That's because there's an inverse correlation between consumption and creativity. The more we consume, the less inclined we are to create. The less we create, the more inclined we are to consume. While the consumptive hobbies can produce a small burst of dopamine, they produce significantly less than the long-term output that is derived by engaging in creative hobbies. This is the reason why you may eventually burn out on consumptive hobbies, as chronic overconsumption can result in aimlessness, apathy, and even low-grade depression, leading to the empty feeling that many people who will only ever partake in consumptive hobbies will eventually face. While creative hobbies are more difficult and require more effort, you will likely experience significant improvement in your mental well-being by participating in them. According to Experience Life magazine, creative pursuits produce flow experiences, and they build what psychologists call self-efficacy, a sense of confidence that we can accomplish whatever we set out to do.
You can do it!
This triggers a positive feedback loop that inspires us to create more and to fully enjoy the rewards of our innate capacity. For this reason, seeking opportunities to flex our creative muscles may be one of the most powerful prescriptions for health and happiness. Another reason that consumptive hobbies are detrimental by themselves is the lack of community around them. When you build an object, practice a skill, or create art, you often do so collaboratively. However, the opportunity to collaborate in consumptive hobbies is significantly lower. If you're watching TV in the same room as someone else, you're connecting separately from each other rather than connecting with each other. The rise in consumptive hobbies is parallel to the growing isolation in our society. When we don't work together with other people on new projects and ideas, we find ourselves feeling more alone and isolated as we lose community. So, I urge you, right here, right now, break the cycle. If you're watching this video, even though I think it's a useful and helpful video, you are engaging in consumption. Ask yourself, when was the last time you partook in a creative hobby? If the answer is longer than a week, now is a good time to do it again. When you finish this video, close YouTube and go spend some time intentionally engaging in a creative endeavor, even if it's just 10 minutes. And don't just take my word for it. In a study of over 8,000 adults, researchers discovered that taking up a hobby was associated with a decrease in depressive symptoms and 30% lower odds of experiencing depression. So go build that table, or learn how to play that cello. I promise you, your brain will thank you for it. In conclusion, I'd like to clarify that I'm not trying to join the chorus of people out there whose arguments ultimately come down to phone bad. Consumption, in moderation, is perfectly fine, and there's nothing wrong with some instant gratification every now and then. But in a culture where it often seems like everyone around you is trying to convince you to engage in nothing but instant gratification and endless consumption every waking minute of every day, I'm here to try and remind you, balance is necessary in all things. Please, set the foundation now for some delayed gratification. Take the time today to start working on something that you're going to be proud of in 30 years. It's going to be worth it. That's it for today's David. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, this is David's signing off.